Hi there, this is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, and welcome to another random review. Today's random review is Beauty and the Beast by Juraj Herz, or The Virgin and the Monster, from 1978. Now, I'd like to apologise to Chris Mohan, because he recently did a video on Herz, two films by him, Beauty and the Beast and The Cremator, and I bought Beauty and the Beast on Chris's recommendation, and I wasn't going to do a video, but after watching it I kind of had to. I have also done a video on The Cremator, but I'll leave a link to Chris's video on the two Herz films. It's not to steal your thunder, Chris, but I kind of just had to do a video. I wasn't going to, but I kind of just had to, because it is another home run by second run. That's a multi-region release, if you're wondering. It has a commentary and also a short film by Herz. The only two films that I have seen of his are Beauty and the Beast and The Cremator, both of which are wonderful. Now, Beauty and the Beast is a fairy tale that has been told and retold. Obviously Cocteau's 1946 version, La Belle La Bête, with Jean Marais from 1946, is probably the most influential one. I mean, there's elements of Cocteau's film in this film, there's elements of Cocteau's film in the Disney animated version, that's the Criterion DVD as well. The Cocteau film has been in my life for probably about 30 years, and it's absolutely stunning. But I'm telling you, this one is almost as good, if not better, and I can't believe I'm actually saying that, because I think I did actually put La Belle and La Bête in my favourite 150 list last year. But Herz film is simply stunning. It's 91 minutes long. You know, this story doesn't really have to be a long film. It doesn't need to be. This is pared down and stripped down even more than Cocteau's version, I think. So Cocteau's version is pure fairy tale. It's about the magic of cinema. It's lyrical, it's poetic, it's artifice, but that just goes into the whole feeling of the film. Herz goes for a completely different feel. This is more grim fairy tales. This is dark. I know it's a cliche, but this is dark. This is nightmare fuel. I'm not going to mention the creature design. I haven't put any images of the creature on the background. I think Second Run do a really good job of not having any images of the creature on the outside of their release. There are images in the booklet, so I would highly recommend you watch the film first before looking through the booklet. Like I said, I'm not going to mention the creature design. It is different, but for me it is now the definitive version of the creature. I'm not sure, I haven't read the original fairy tale, how we kind of got to the kind of lion cuddly toy. I mean, obviously Jean Marais is almost like a cuddly big teddy bear in La Belle La Bête, whereas in Herz film there is no cuddliness. And the scenes where the beast is having conflicting ideas about what he should do, almost his more animalistic side talking about whether he should kill the girl or not, those scenes are truly disturbing. You can understand, this is not a children's film, and if children do see this, they're probably going to be mentally scarred. I'll just say this about the creature design. As much as Cocteau's film, I think, is deeply influential, if you watch this version of the film, of the story, and you watch Clive Barker's Nightbreed, I can't remember off the top of my head who was in charge of creature design in Nightbreed, but there's some serious Nightbreed stuff going on in Herz film from 1978, and it must have been an influence on some of the stuff that's going on in Nightbreed. That's as much as I'm going to say. So again, the story we all kind of know. It's about female horror and fear about the male sex organ. It's about fear of male sexuality, the animalistic side of men, and it's neatly hidden in a supposedly romantic tale about how women can tame the beast within man, and also this is an extreme case of it. So the film starts like a Hammer horror. There's this kind of trail of carriages carrying we don't know what, and they get sidetracked and lost in this forest, which actually looks as dark and foreboding as a forest can possibly look. This film has stunning production design, and we find out, we cut back to this homestead that they're preparing to have not one wedding but two weddings. The two sisters, who are fairly one note because they're just the greedy sisters who are only interested in jewels and money and dresses. And we find out that the father, who looks very much like a Czech Anthony Hopkins, the things that are in the carriage, this is how he's going to pay for the wedding and pay off his debts. But the carriage train is sidetracked and it's attacked by something. There is blood in this film, and it is quite unnerving and scary at times. Like I say, the production design is excellent. So the father loses money, so he takes the portrait of his ex-wife, who we don't know what happened to her, we assume she died, to try and sell to get some money back. He gets lost in the forest. He ends up in this derelict mansion. Again, very much like Cocteau's version, how food is prepared and lights and fires are lit is very magical and mystical, but it's also quite creepy. You don't see things completely in full vision. It's stuff out the corner of your eye. There's times where certain forces look directly into the camera, which is quite off-putting as well. There's times where the beast kind of looks straight at the camera, which is quite off-putting as well. And again, he's given jewels and food, so as he's leaving, he takes a rose for his youngest daughter Julia, and then the monster makes his appearance and says, well, you're after going to come back and die, or if you give it one of your daughters, you can live, but she has to stay with me. Again, as we know from seeing all the different versions of the film. There's a nice device when Julia goes in her father's place to the mansion. If she asks to see her father and how he's doing, there's a door that opens and she can see, very much like Christmas Carol or whatever, she can see what's going on but they can't see her. It's a nice device that saves her riding back for visits and riding back to the mansion. This is a very even although it takes its time within the mansion, it is a pretty streamlined film. It's fairly economic. Like I said, even more so than the Cocteau one, which doesn't have that much fat on it. But this one has even less fat on it. At 91 minutes, it flies by. I mean, if you're doing a Beauty and the Beast film, you have to get the creature design right, which Herz does. Because, like I said, it's creepy and quite disturbing, and I'm sure it might give some people nightmares, especially if younger viewers watch the film. And like I said, it's really well done when the Beast is having those monologues with himself and the different voices in his head, trying to keep that predator voice down, and questioning his very nature. I love the fact that in this film we don't get an explanation of why he looks the way he does. Curse is mentioned, but again, there's no exposition about that, there's no backstory about that. It's just so well done. You kind of have to do a video about a film and talk about a film when it kind of questions not your belief in another film that has been in your life for a long time, as far as this one might actually be better or just as good. So like I said, it's Chris Mohan's fault. I'll leave a link to his video, like I said. Go subscribe to his channel if you haven't already. But second run again, some other stuff might be a little bit risky and you might have to watch it a few times to kind of understand. This is one of their more accessible releases, but it was very much like Chris recommended me Vampire Kuadachuk. I watched it and I had to do a video on it. I still don't know what it is, but I had to do a video on it. And this is the same. It's an absolute stunner. Again, it's one of those films that blew me away, and it's another example of why, regardless of how many films you've watched, there can always be one more that you watch and it just goes straight into your favourites list as a 5-star film and just blows you away. And that's why films are wonderful, because you can just pick up the next one and it's just like, that works so well and it's amazing. So not a very in-depth video, just go and pick it up, and let me know what you think of it if you haven't seen it already. If you've seen it, let me know what you think about it anyway, because it's one of those second run releases that I would say you have to go pick up, because it's absolutely stunning. It shows that even a story that we're all familiar with, a story that's been done a fair number of times, can still surprise you when you get the right person doing it, and as long as you have an imagination and the talent to do something a little bit different, when you pull it off, it's just absolutely incredible. So thanks very much for watching. Again, go visit Chrissy's video on The Virgin and the Monster, Beauty and the Beast, and The Cremator by Herz, because both of those films are pretty amazing. And hopefully you'll join me again for more random reviews. This is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, saying thanks very much for watching, and farewell.